Welcome to our Vote 2024 Table Talk on Education. I'm Jasleen Kaur, a student research assistant at Marquette University and our facilitator for this conversation. Who do you think should be primarily responsible for decisions about what is taught in the classroom?
Parents. I mean, there should be input from teachers, but I believe it's parents. It's their children. I come from a conservative household. I am a conservative with liberal views on some things, but I'm a conservative and I feel like that if you're in a public school, yes, there should be input from the teachers and the government, but again, it's public, so it should be the public's view because they're paying tax dollars. And I feel like they should be able to have input on what their children are learning, and they should be able to trust that the system is teaching what they need to learn, and that they should have some input because again, it is their child ultimately.
I respect your opinion, but I strongly disagree with that because I think that if I'm sick, I'm not going to my son's soccer coach to get help. I'm going to the one who is the expert. In this case, it will be the doctor. Teachers are, for the most part, we know, teachers are trained in pedagogies, and I think that's the main thing. Teachers don't go into the classroom to teach critical race theory or racism. Teachers go into the classroom to develop critical thinking. And when you do that, then you have to allow the voices, in this case, the voices of the oppressed and the marginalized, because those are the voices that are being suppressed right now, to have a say. Not because I want to convince my son that white privilege has had tremendous input and wealth in the United States. Not the point. But I want to teach my son is that he has to look at an issue from multiple perspectives, and that some discourses have dominated the narrative, and that it is time for other voices to also have a say. And so it's a very thorny issue right now, and I know that it's really hard to have conversations about it, and that's why I value sitting at this table, being able to challenge our opinions. But I think that the experts are the teachers.
So I'll put it to you like this. So I'm going to say that it should be a decision of the federal government or of the state. And the reason I say that is I'll give you the example. A parent, if it is pouring rain outside and the bus is coming, a parent is going to get the rain boots, the raincoat, and the umbrella because they don't want their baby to get wet, right? But how else, if the kid does not even feel a splash, how else will they know what the rain feels like? How else will they know what wet versus dry is, right? So I think we have to allow teachers to teach. So if it's a history class, it may not all feel like kittens and rainbows, but it is what happened. And it's important, it's really critical. Herman, exactly where I was going in my mind immediately was a teacher's job is not to shield the child from anything that doesn't feel comfortable. That's the parent's job, right? But the teacher's job is to give the kid all the information they need to be able to form that passionate position you had, right, in your economy class. But if you're only fed bits and pieces, it's gonna be hard, right? To really think, is this opinion that I'm giving, is it fully informed if you don't hear everything?
We're gonna get into more school choice. So Americans and political candidates differ on school choice. That is, using public tax dollars to cover the cost of private school tuition. Which option do you think is best for using those education dollars? Giving money to low-income families so they can pay for their children to go to private school, or giving money to public schools to improve their education?
My response to your question is it's not either or, it's both. Because I do believe that we shouldn't frame the question, like we should have conversations like it's a this or that. If you live in a poor area and your school is not doing well, I do think, especially when you talk about students who are living in poverty, they should have a choice that's paid for by public dollars. I'm all for that. Yeah. But in the same sense, we should fund public education. But why is private education funded at 90% special ed reimbursement and public ed only 30? That's just, to me, that's where the loss is.
So I'm going to piggyback on what Eric said and agree. I
Yeah,
think
Dee,
it's
I got you agree with me. Woo!
Wait, no.
Yeah.
I fully agree. And you literally, and sir, you stole my thunder because what I was going to say is,
Take it
yes,
all.
it's not an
Yeah.
either or, but a nuanced approach, and we need to triage who needs it when. There's going to be moments when public schools have more kids who need more special services. We need to take that into account. So it cannot be some static standard of it's 90% for private and this for public. No. There needs to be a regular assessment. I don't know what the right cadence is. I'm not in education.
100%.
Maybe it's
100% fully funded. That's your answer.
maybe it's
100%.
on a yearly basis. I don't know.
Yeah.
But a regularly scheduled assessment of what that school system needs, and then you fund it accordingly.
That's right.
Look for more of these conversations on all of our local programs and in upcoming Vote 2024 specials.